From McFarlane Toys and their DC Superpowers line, we have not only their classic costume Nightwing, not his classic costume, but also their Deathstroke. I figured we'll take a look at these two together because, you know, in the comics as well as in the Teen Titans cartoon, Dick Grayson and Slade / Deathstroke kind of were the big rivalry. And yeah, I'm gonna say this now, I'm probably gonna call him Slade a lot more often than I call him Deathstroke because I like Slade more than Deathstroke. Taking just a quick look at the box, Nightwing's is very strange. This is not the classic costume. This is like his Knightfall era costume, which is still good, but, you know, not classic. Also, that's just the modern costume given a yellow trim. That's weird. They've done that a few times where they'll just Photoshop the old picture instead of just getting some new artwork. And then on the back, you got the checklist, you got the vehicles, you got the description. Nothing too insane. Let's go ahead and pop him out. The original Nightwing from this line is one of my favorite figures from the line. This one is still good, but let's be honest, this costume just is not as slick, but I do enjoy having it. You can see it's all just painted detail, but they did get all the hits, and I really do like the shaded gold they got it with, and the shininess of the mask is very nice. If I were to pull in the original Nightwing, there we are, you can see they didn't change anything in terms of sculpting, but they did repaint everything, and even the skin is now a little bit more lifelike, a little bit less flat. I do enjoy this Nightwing, and in some ways I think it is an improvement, specifically with the face paint, but I would still always go with the original. In terms of accessories, because for some reason Nightwing's the only one to get accessories in this line, it feels like, you do still get the batons. Let me get those in his hands. They are a tight fit, and a thing I will point out is these sticks are just unpainted plastic, whereas before they had this nice gunmetal silver. So this is a bit of a budget release in the wave, but it's a decent enough Nightwing. I would still suggest the more modern costume, but if you do have more an affinity for the 90s aesthetic, this Nightwing is at least an option. Next up we have Deathstroke, and I'll be honest, right? To me, Deathstroke is one of those characters where the adaptation kind of made me interested in the character. I'm thinking of like animated series Mr. Freeze, animated series Two-Face, and Teen Titans Slade. Deathstroke in the comics does nothing for me, I hate to say, but I do still like the original costume, and this is supposed to be the original Judas Contract version of the character. Of course, just like all figures, you have the usual range of articulation. Same with Nightwing, I should have showed off with him, but it's universal throughout. A thing that this figure has over every other figure in the line, though, is just how striking he looks. The proportions are great, the color choice is good, and I do like the kind of waving flaps of the mask. It looks very nice. If we were to pull in our Nightwing, you can see Nightwing is just about eye level with Slade, maybe just a touch shorter, and I do think that these two look very nice together. However, Deathstroke has also broken the rule, because he actually has a sword. This sword doesn't look like any sword Deathstroke has ever had, but hey, he has it. So, we'll open up his fingers just a touch. Oh, come on. Come on, get in there. Ooh, that is very tight. That is very tight. And he's holding it. It looks fine. But again, I know the sword is a big deal for Deathstroke. When I think of Deathstroke, I think of Slade. Guess who never used a sword? Was Slade. And I would prefer to have a Slade from Teen Titans cartoon as opposed to Deathstroke from the Teen Titans comics. So I'm going to take that sword right back out of his hand. Because, if you remember an earlier review, one of my big complaints about Wonder Woman was that she didn't have a sword or a lasso. I want to see if the sword will fit in her hand. That's a very small hand, and that's a very big sword, okay? Can I... Oh, that's going to stretch those fingers out. It works. It's going to stretch Wonder Woman's fingers out over time. I know it will. But hey, it's my figure, and I wanted Wonder Woman with a sword, and I'm actually kind of happy that works. So, hey, get Deathstroke, you can also arm your Wonder Woman. Here's Nightwing version 2 and Deathstroke alongside the rest of the line as I've collected them so far, and yeah, again, I like them all together. It looks nice, it looks cool, I enjoy them, it's a good aesthetic. I'm now going to horribly date this video by pointing out, I just found out today that there is a new wave coming out that's going to include Kilowog, Sinestro, Brainiac, a new Batman that's actually going to be a little bit more of a classic Batman, but it's based on the Japanese manga. I gotta say, I really am enjoying this line. I'm happy there's another wave coming out. I'm glad we're getting another big figure. I'm glad we're getting more vehicles. I think I'm never going to go all in in this line, but I'm definitely going to go all in terms of characters, I think. With the exception of the Batman Who Laughs, because the Batman Who Laughs sucks.